What's up, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of From the Lions Cove podcast. I'm your host, Marcelo, and today I am joined by Rebecca Misencik from John Carroll University. Rebecca, former all-conference soccer player here at John Carroll and a business professional with 24 plus years of experience. Thank you for hopping on today's podcast.
Marcelo, I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for hopping on. So, for those that may not know, your role is the president of the Blue Gold Club here at John Carroll. So, what is it? And as a former JCU athlete, what does it mean to you to lead it?
Thank you so much for that question. First of all, let me say I'm a fan of the podcast. You do a great job. The fact that you've even started one is amazing. I've thought about one for a long time and would like to start one. So it's an inspiration to be here today. So thank you. So the Blue Gold Club, we're essentially the Alumni Athletic Association for John Carroll University. And what we do is we have a mission statement to support, elevate, and unite all the varsity athletics. And for me, the support part comes in with funding budgetary gaps. So the coaches have a certain amount of money that they can spend. We fill those gaps if there's additional things that are needed. Elevating, just trying to elevate the experience. For me, like a big thing is giving back to John Carroll and a place that has treated me so well over the years. And so to elevate current students' experiences relative to what mine was, that's really important. So I think our club does that as well by having experiences for the athletes here, whether that is medallions that are worn at graduation, for seniors. There's a spring dance that we host. There's a Hall of Fame that we induct former student athletes into, all the things. So I think we elevate the experience in that way. And then uniting is just bringing everybody together, bringing the teams together, bringing alumni and current students and future students together. I feel like we have a big role in uniting the past, present, and the future. So there's that. What does it mean to me to lead the Blue Gold Club? It's an honor. It's a lot of work. But it's a lot of fun too. I've met some really great people through the club and through the university. They feel like family. And if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here still. So I'm really just proud to be here again, talking about the club with you and spreading the news about it. So thank you.
Wow, great. So then over the years, how have you seen the growth like within members? You know, I know there's a lot of like alumni that tend to, shy away from their university, but how have you seen the growth? Because I feel like obviously here at Carroll, the community is fantastic.
We have a great community. We have a great donor base, whether that's in athletics or the overall university. I think with big teams like football, you have a lot more support that you see there. Some of the smaller teams are still growing, and trying to get donor support is important. Our role as a Blue Gold Club has changed over the years. We've been in existence for almost 40 years. Actually, it's over 40 years.
Wow.
And initially, we were the boosters, the fundraiser for all sports. And as time has evolved, and especially post-COVID, I would say, a lot of teams are doing their own individual fundraising. And they're doing a great job. But there's still some needs that we can help meet. And so that's kind of where we're coming into play. Our club has evolved over the last few years. We're still kind of trying to find our new niche as we're helping teams support what they need, but also kind of stay out of their way as they're doing their own fundraising. So just recently we unveiled like a new initiative. We're calling it the 1886 Club, which is like a lower price point to start as a member. And that just hopefully gains some momentum and interest amongst the younger donor base, the younger alums out there, so that they can still give back and help the students here. So, yeah.
Wow, great. That is awesome. So John Carroll has seen exciting additions recently, like the new field house, which looks absolutely incredible, and campus expansions. From your perspective, how do these upgrades impact the student athlete experience and the future of the university?
Yeah, I think these upgrades are amazing. They're putting the university on a different map, just countrywide, which for us, it's elevating the experience. It's elevating our ability to compete and to attract top talent out there. And that, like when you're elevating, you're able to excel both on and off the playing field or the court. So I think that's one thing that I see here that's been amazing. I think it also has increased like the sense of pride that individuals have that are here and alums when they come back. And then just there's a a greater sense of community because there's so much good energy that's going on right now in the John Carroll community with all of these improvements and all of this good stuff that's been going on. So kudos to President Mikiak and the team here, the board, all the faculty, staff. Folks have really done a great job with keeping this place in a good space.
Yeah, like I remember when I was looking at other D3 schools to go play basketball, I was looking at other facilities and looking at, their, I guess, courts, and it's completely different here at Carroll. I mean, the field house is fantastic. It looks great. And it's just obviously a great place for new athletes, especially with the brand new locker room.
Yes.
Those are
Yes.
also huge as well.
Individual sports have their own locker rooms. They're decked out. They're much more modern. I mean, back in the day when I was here, we shared the locker rooms. The female athletes shared their locker rooms. We shared warm-ups with the swim team when I was playing soccer. So from all the chlorine, the material of the fabric was kind of soft and worn out. But these days it's much different. Again, like everybody's got their own locker rooms and their own swag and all the things. So it's a big difference.
Wow. So what makes John Carroll such a special place, and what made you choose the university?
Yeah, I think it's the people that are here, both the people that work here and the alumni and the current students. I think there's a lot to be said for a place that has a lot of good Jesuit values, like this place does. It's unique when you're creating and cultivating men and women for others. I think that really goes a long way to the culture, the feel of the place. For me, when I was looking at schools, I was first, I guess, focused on what do I want to do? And I was visiting schools for more science and math-based majors. And then when I visited John Carroll, it was something different. It had a different feel to it. It gave me the options of doing what I wanted to do, but it also kind of felt like it could help me become somebody that I wanted to be, not just like a profession. And so for me, what sealed the deal was, it was silly, but I was here on a campus tour and it was raining heavily and folks were holding doors for each other. And then somebody gave me their umbrella. And I was like, okay, this is kind of like family. They're here for you. They're waiting for you at the door. It felt right. So that was what sealed the deal, was literally somebody holding the door and giving me their umbrella.
Hey, that is an absolutely awesome story. And it's so funny that you mentioned a story like that, because when you go to other schools and other college campuses, everyone has their AirPods in, they're walking around, there's really no communication. When I was here at Carroll, I mean, people were always saying hi, you were having side conversations in the hallway. It was a completely different vibe, and that's what makes Carroll so special.
Yeah.
And especially the professors here. The professors really want you to succeed. I mean, I went to so many office hours, just staying late, just trying to learn different ways of accounting and even other classes that I took here. And it's just so special, and you're not going to get that at any other school.
No, initially I think the liberal arts curriculum was kind of scary, just trying to make sure you fit all the classes in that you needed to get done. But I really enjoyed having the variety to the classes versus if I would have gone somewhere else and maybe just stayed in a science or math silo. I don't think I would have come out as well-rounded and as service-minded either. I really think that the mission here with helping serve others is unique, and you can't get that anywhere else.
Yeah, and there's so many clubs here that give back. I mean, I was in Carroll Ballers I think I was in there for a semester, and it was a great experience doing that, just being involved in the community and also meeting other people outside of your typical, business classes or science classes. So
Absolutely.
it was great.
Agree with you. Yeah.
So looking ahead to 2026, are there any goals or projects you're excited to support about student athletes?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So for us, Blue Gold Club, a lot of the same that we've funded over the years. There's some major things that we fund every year. That would be the Hall of Fame induction ceremony that occurs every fall at homecoming. So love doing that. It's an honor and a privilege to look at the resumes of all of these fantastic student athletes across all the different sports and to help select those that go into the Hall of Fame. And if you haven't seen the new Hall of Fame hallway yet, that's in the corridor that leads underground to the AWE. highly recommend it. It's full of improvements, and there's more to come. We're actually getting some flat screens that are going to be added with like some touchscreen capability where you can actually search, and there's going to be all sorts of current content in there about athletics, all sorts of good things. So really excited about the additions that continue to go on in that hallway. But so we've got the Hall of Fame induction ceremony that we do. I mentioned earlier that we do medallions that seniors wear that designate them as athletes. They get to wear those at graduation. We do a spring dance. We do the letter winner awards for the sports. There's some graphics that are in the hallway over in the athletic facilities. Some of those wall graphics are things that we help fund. In the past, we funded things like the windscreens that are out in the baseball and softball fields. We helped with the new golf simulator room that just got finished. There were lots of generous donors for that. We played a small part, but still happy to do so. So honestly, nothing planned per se outside our normal activities, but there's always things that pop up. And that's why we're here, is to kind of help with those things that pop up, those little budget gaps that folks need, or just the little extra push they need to get over the finish line to finish something up. So really excited to continue to do those things.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
What's so awesome too about the the golf sims, they are absolutely unreal. I think 2 weeks ago is my first time playing on a golf simulator, and it was fantastic. I just want to go every week now to go play at like a golf sim, whether it's with friends or family. So having a golf simulator here on campus, I'm sure for those student athletes is great.
Yep, it's a great room. It's been getting a lot of use from what I understand. So excited about that. I've never actually tried a golf simulator, so I need to do that.
Yeah.
There's something nice about being outside, but also something nice about not having to brave the elements, especially this time of year, which is wintertime here in Cleveland. So yeah.
Yeah, well, every time I play golf, I always lose like a brand new pack. So listen, golf sims are definitely the way to go.
Think about that. Save you some money.
Yeah, exactly. So thinking back to your time as a soccer player here, what initially drew you to the game, and how did becoming an all-conference player shape you both on and off the field?
Sure. Yeah. What drew me to the game was that my neighbor's dad, I was like 7 years old. My neighbor's dad was the coach. So I grew up on the west side of Cleveland, North Olmsted. And that's North Olmsted Soccer Organization. NOSO had a big soccer program when I was a kid. And the NOSO Cup was a big tournament that was held every 4th of July weekend. So again, my neighbor, her dad was the coach. And he asked if I had ever played and if I was interested. And I was like, sure, why not? And to my dad's dismay, the neighbor got to me before, like my dad did. My dad was a basketball player, kind of like your family. So my dad, I think, was a little heartbroken that I didn't play basketball. But the soccer girls were so welcoming and warm. And once I got started, I didn't look back. So that was what it was NOSO soccer from the age of 7 up.
Wow.
Yep.
So then how was your time throughout high school and as well playing here at John Carroll?
Yeah. So so I played all through high school at North Olmsted High School. And honestly, like one of the things that I was known for was my left-footed corner kicks. I could bend it like Beckham, if you will. I was able to score unassisted on corner kicks. I had a way of kind of sending the ball out and then it would come back in really sharp. And so I was able to win like a great tournament game for us in high school doing that, which was a lot of fun. So one thing that I was known for. That was great.
Wow.
And then here at Carroll, enjoyed playing all over the field, actually. When I came in as a freshman, they were in the process of hiring a new coach. So I wasn't necessarily recruited. So I chose to play versus being scouted. I did look at a number of other schools, but wanted to be able to balance out like academics and athletics.
Yeah.
Didn't want all the pressure of not being able to go to class or be able to do well academically because I was at practice too much or traveling for games.
Yeah.
So I had talked to a lot of different schools in the area, but really, again, just kind of loved the feel of John Carroll. But at the time, there wasn't a coach here. And at the time, I think it was Coach Gretchen Whitebrack who was doing like volleyball. She was kind of like the interim coach that was kind of, in a sense, just overseeing new recruits or people coming in. So I got to meet with her, and so it was a little weird. The new coach, I think, started right before my freshman soccer season started in like July or something like that. So, but came in, and I was a bit of a utility player, played all over the place, and enjoyed. God, there were some great memories of playing midfield, lots of running, a lot of feeding passes to forwards to help them excel and to score. There was a great game when I was a sweeper where we were playing away that we just kept pushing up to get the other team off sides over and over again. So that stuff was a lot of fun. And we ended up winning that game too. So those were great things. My soccer team, when I was here, went to Bermuda for a tournament.
Really?
Uh,
Really? Bermuda?
Bermuda. We flew to Bermuda.
What?
All of us went. We played in this international tournament against a number of other teams. Beautiful weather. Got to see the pink sandy beach and the turquoise waters. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Wow, that is crazy.
So like there was great stuff like that, and then there was kind of like there was the good, bad, and the ugly. I'd say even some of the bad stuff, like having to get up for early morning like runs on the track. We had
Yep.
like timed 2 mile runs that everybody dreaded. Those were still great memories. I used to get my ankles taped because I had weak ankles, and I would sit on the bench waiting in line next to London Fletcher.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. So just cool stuff like that. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, once I was slide tackled at a Baldwin Wallace game on their turf and literally lost the whole backside of my leg to like a rug burn. And I couldn't sit in a classroom chair for a week because I just had like all of the skin was off the back of my leg was gone.
Oh
So
my gosh.
cool. So just that kind of stuff, those kind of memories that you remember. But yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
then, do you have any other favorite memories from your playing days?
Oh, let's see here. Just the people, I think. Some of them I still keep in touch with on Facebook, and see their kids and see them all over the country. So it's really nice just to see the relationships that you form and how they grow over time. So that's to me the biggest memory is just the people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then, what's the hardest position to play in soccer? I played soccer, I think in like the third grade, and I was not good at all. So I probably quit after that. I know when I played it was very short. So what do you think the hardest position to play is?
So I've played pretty much all of them. Again, I was kind of a utility player when I came here. I could do whatever was needed, which was helpful. If I had to say there was one though, I'd say the goalie was the hardest.
Okay.
Your one job is to keep the ball out of the net. And you're really relying on those other players in front of you to stop it before it gets to you. And then you have just one job to perform for the most part. And so there's a lot of pressure, I guess, in that job. So to me, that's why it's the most challenging, is there's a lot of pressure to deliver all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you played, did you have any pre-game rituals, or did you listen to some kind of music? Was there anything that prepared you for games?
Rituals. Let's see. Well, the girls and I, we used to always like do our usual. It was back in the day when so if you guys know John Carroll's layout now, we had the old Science Center, the Bohannon Science Center, and then across from that was the library, and Dolan wasn't here. And so we used to actually play games on the grass where the Dolan Science Center is now.
Wow.
Grass here.
Yeah.
And we would play on the turf sometimes, but we would also play on the grass. So like one of the silly rituals was that we would make sure we would hit the restrooms in the library, maybe stop and get a cup of some sort of coffee that was in like the little vending machines there, because you didn't have like a Starbucks type of a thing. You just literally had a machine that dispensed like coffee. So we would do that kind of stuff. Game rituals, we used to like love to go out to eat before and after games as a team. So like Olive Garden, all you could eat pasta was like the thing. These days, like I can't even fathom eating that much pasta in one sitting, but we ate a lot of it. So yep, there was that.
Wow, great, awesome. I know it's so interesting hearing other people's pre-game rituals or pre-game like superstitions. Those are obviously like my favorite to just hear, because my favorite when I played, mine was always to either eat a turkey sandwich, applesauce, or banana.
Yep.
Either of those or all.
Yep.
It just kind of like depended on how I was feeling, all of that. And also too, I had like a set playlist. So I had a set playlist of songs that I would play in order before every game.
So how did you play them? Did you have like ear pods? Because like this was like I played 25 years ago plus. Like we didn't have ear pods. So like it was really different. Like you had like wired headsets that had to connect to something with batteries typically. So
really,
like you would maybe play a play set. Like we might have some sort of like boom box or something outside where you would press the tape and then you could play the music. Or if we were over in the stadium, you could play it over the loudspeakers, like warm type music. But I'm with you. I always had a banana. Like that was something easy that I would do. But yeah, the music was like a little bit different back then because we didn't have the same portability with ear pods and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I absolutely love my not AirPods, they're Beats. I absolutely love the Beats because they wrap around like your ear and they're wireless. They're absolutely fantastic. So doing meditation, obviously that was great.
Yep, lots of stretching. Like it's the usual stuff before you practice, before you play. We were just always stretching, like having good pep talks for each other, making sure everybody was in a good space mentally and physically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always. So what's one challenge you faced as a student athlete that taught you a lesson you still carry today?
Sure. Yeah. So one thing I didn't mention as one of my memories was that I tore my ACL when we were in Bermuda. I got
Oh,
slide tackled from behind and got injured, which I did not at all expect. This was going into, I think, my junior year that happened. So, so it appeared to be a setback at the time because it was an injury that took me out for the whole season. But really, what it was for me personally was more of like a setup for better things in the future. I actually really enjoyed, as much as you can, like rehabbing my knee after having my ACL reconstructed in my right knee. Enjoyed working with like the orthopedic surgeon, working with the PT folks, working with the training room folks here. It's funny because just recently, Donnie Mack, the head athletic trainer, he was cleaning out their space as they were moving to the AWE, and he found like the ACL list. It was like the list of athletes that were in rehab for torn ACLs, and it must have fallen behind a filing cabinet or something. It was like 20 years old,
wow.
and my name was on the list.
No way.
So that was pretty cool that he showed me that. But in any case, it was a bit of a setback from like soccer standpoint, but personally, it really put me in touch with like a whole other aspect of like career development options that I never thought about. So for a while, I thought about going into medicine and being like an orthopedic surgeon or doing something in physical therapy. But as like you alluded to earlier, I essentially majored in finance here. I was a business major, and I work with your dad actually at Travelers Insurance currently.
Yeah.
And started off in one department, but moved a couple years ago into our life sciences and technology department, where I get to do a lot of underwriting of companies that make all sorts of medical products, including stuff in the orthopedic field, like implants and that kind of stuff. So it kind of cultivated in me that injury, that torn ACL cultivated in me this like interest in medicine and all things health related that has kind of carried through and helped me kind of find where I'm supposed to be professionally as well.
Wow. Yeah, and that is a fantastic mindset to have. I mean, obviously going through such a hard time, you know, rehabbing your knee. I've had so many friends that have torn their ACL multiple times. I've had so many friends that have torn them, I think, 3 times, which is crazy. So to obviously change your mindset and use that for, I guess, like a larger purpose,
Yes,
which
like
is
the pain into purpose kind of thing.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I always live by there's always redirection. Like if something just doesn't happen, hey, there's always a better plan for you, or there's a different route for you.
Yes.
So that's absolutely fantastic.
It's not always that things happen to you, they happen for you for a reason, to teach you something or to help you discover something about yourself or to help you put you on a different path where you need to be. So I firmly believe in all that stuff too.
Yeah, I even remember from high school, I actually broke and dislocated my ring finger, and I was out for like 3 months. I had like a pin like hanging out from like my finger. It was absolutely disgusting.
But kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually taught myself how to shoot with like my right hand and how to like, I guess, get better with my right hand because my right hand was not that good. But eventually it just became so like fluent and it became so much better. And it kind of, I spent so much time just working on it and it just kind of provided that sense of redirection or,
Yep.
Help.
Forced you to further develop your skill set.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So with so much on your plate, how do you stay disciplined and motivated? And where do you see the biggest overlap between being an athlete as well as a business professional?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It's got such, I could answer that one forever, basically. There's so much I could talk about there. But I think life, much like any sport like soccer, is a bit of a sport that you need to train for. So for me, that's something that's really important is to continue my training. And that's with diet, exercise, making sure I'm getting enough sleep, my spirituality components in my life. Also just time management. And I mean that like two different ways. Time management, like making sure I'm making to-do lists and keeping track of what I need to get done, staying organized. But also from a second standpoint, I'm a big fan of this author and like personal improvement guru. His name is Brendan Burchard. He wrote a book called High Performance Habits. And I've been to a couple of his seminars. I actually got certified to be one of his high performance coaches because I really believe in what he does. Yep. But he talks a lot about being mindful of how much time you spend doing things like social media and watching TV. And he says that the average person spends about 4 hours a day either on television or scrolling mindlessly on social media, doing stuff that they're not even aware they're doing. I mean, when you do the math of like 4 hours a day times 7 days a week times 52 weeks a year, that's 1,456 hours. And if you divide that by like 8 hours in a business day, you're basically wasting 6 months of time, of like business day time, doing stuff that may not be productive. So once I watched him describe that, I was in person with him at a conference and saw him doing this on a whiteboard where he did all the math. It was kind of shocking. And it just makes me more mindful of where I'm spending my time. So I try to limit how much time I spend watching TV and doing social media type stuff. Or I try to multitask. I'll take a walk and then listen to like your podcast, for instance, while I'm walking, so I can kind of get the best of both worlds. But for me, that's been a big eye opener recently, is just being more mindful of where my time's being spent.
Wow, and that's a crazy stat.
Yeah.
So you said 1,400?
1,456 hours a year if you just spend like 4 hours a day watching TV and mindlessly doing things on social media.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because I've been trying to like limit like my time, like my screen time, like set, hey, I'm only going to be on Instagram for an hour today, or like TikTok for an hour today. But I mean, with social media, the people that scroll mindlessly, I mean, there's probably millions upon millions that aren't even aware of what they're doing. They just automatically like open and just start scrolling.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to see how much technology has changed, how much AI has changed, and how that can really, kind of like affect what you're doing. For example, I could be scrolling either on TikTok for an hour, or I could be doing stuff that could be beneficial for my podcast in an hour.
Correct.
There's so many pros and cons, and people need to start, I think, weighing what they're doing. Like, for example, weighing certain options. Like, hey, is it beneficial if I do this or do that for an hour? Just kind of like balance their time well. But that's obviously so hard, especially with your mind just wanting to, get that dopamine hit, or get that, quick real TikTok. Like,
it's definitely addictive. There's that. From a mental health standpoint too, from what I've learned and read, it's not healthy for you to spend that much time online. I mean, all of us do spend time online, but there's a lot of like judgment and comparison that comes from that, which kind of hurts your self-esteem, helps, staying off of it just helps, I think, all around, mental, physical, all the things. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then even too, staring at like a computer screen for like 8 hours a day, and then spending 4 hours on those apps, that just hurts your eyes. I mean, I don't know how people do it. I mean, when I'm finished with work, and then when I go on Instagram for an hour, I'm like, yeah, I just can't look at anything anymore. I need to go outside. I need to relax. I need to do some physical training.
Yes,
so
I'm agree with you there. It's a lot of screen time, so I'm in agreement. Nothing else to add on that one.
Yeah. So this show is about real stories for the ones still chasing theirs, even when no one is watching. For the people out there working hard but feeling unnoticed, what advice would you give them to keep pushing forward?
This is a great question. And I had so many answers to this. Like, this was the one that I struggled with the most. Not in a bad way, in a good way, because there were so many things that I would like to say. So I've got a few things. I think we've kind of alluded to this already in the discussion, but the right things will basically find you in life when the time is right. And sometimes God or life redirects you to a place you need to be for a particular reason, and just to be open to the path as it's kind of laid out before you. So to me, that's one thing. Small consistent wins over time, I think, win. And that's tough. Like, when you're doing all the right things and you're putting in the time and the effort and you're not seeing the result, or others don't see it, or maybe they don't believe in you, like, just keep putting in that small bit of effort. Every little baby step is going to move you an inch closer. And I love Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Yeah.
The guy's great. And I watched him do some short Instagram thing one morning. Social media, I know. But, it's like we all have to live a little. But he said, is it going to be one of those, like, one day I will do this, or is today going to be day one? So, like, the day you decide to just start doing something, like starting a podcast or starting a business, that's day one. And every little action that you take will get you there. You just have to be consistent and keep doing it over time. And so to me, like, for those folks out there that are working hard, just keep putting in the time and the effort. It'll pay off. It will.
Yeah, so true. And I'm so happy that you mentioned the small wins, because the small wins go a long way, and eventually they will add up over time to create one huge like win for you. And I would rather have 4 people, 6 people. I would rather have a small audience listen to my podcast rather than just keep on searching for views, searching for those views. And it's so important just to create that audience, create that like base, that community. And it's so important because eventually over time that community will add up and just grow larger. So even though you might not be seeing the results, whether that's in social media or in any other aspects of your life, it's so important just to keep going. And if you can write down something that you did, like if you helped out someone, carry groceries, or you held the door open for someone. I mean, there's so many ways that you can improve and just get better every day. And I feel like there's so many things you could take away from an 8 hour day. Like, hey, I taught this person how to do this, or hey, I learned how to do this, how to make food, or anything like that. I mean, there's so many like little key takeaways that you can use just to keep building momentum, and that's so key.
Yes, I agree with you. And it's across all aspects of life, honestly, whether it's education, just keep doing all the little things, all the homework, all the little things you need to do to be successful in your classes. In service work, every little bit of time that you're able to help somebody else do something, learn something, it means a lot to those folks that you're doing it for. When you're working, putting little bits of money into a 401k adds up over time.
Yeah.
Putting money into savings outside the 401k adds up over time and helps you accomplish life goals like buying a house or getting married, whatever it may be. So to me, it's all about like the consistency, not so much like the magnitude of what you're doing.
Yeah, and I've always found myself saying to, my parents or friends, yeah, I'll just wait to do that tomorrow, or hey, I'll just work out tomorrow, or I'll do this. But when you start taking action on the things that you want to get done and the things that you want to get achieved, you'll receive the results faster.
Yep.
Like, if you keep pushing off homework, if you keep pushing off studying, then eventually you may not do well on that exam, or you may not do well, on a certain school project. So when you just learn to do it now and get it done, then it's behind you. Then you can focus on the next big project or the next big task.
Yeah. And I think most people find that it's easier just to put stuff off, to procrastinate, to delay, to come up with some excuse or some reason not to do it. But you're really in the minority when you do start taking those little actions, and they don't have to be big. Again, it's like little things that over time will differentiate you and set you up to be completely different from the crowd. And I think it's meaningful. Like, it creates like a bunch of memories. It creates a bunch of things you can look back on and say, like, this is all the stuff that I've done over the years, and this is how it's impacted my friends, my family, John Carroll, my coworkers, whatever it may be. So I'm a big advocate for just the small incremental steps.
Yeah, great. So finally, what's one quote or piece of advice that you live by every day?
One thing that I always ask when I'm at work, whenever I'm on the phone with one of my coworkers or one of the folks on my team, is, can I help you with anything? For me, being more helpful is something that I live by in all aspects of my life. So if you don't know what you want to do with your life, if you're not sure about your career, if you're not sure, what the next step is, be more helpful. Like, find reasons to give back to people or to help them. It will put you in touch with other people that can maybe help you answer those other questions you can't answer, or figure out those mysteries in your life that you can't figure out. So I find that just being more helpful, like offering up support, helping people through their issues, makes you feel good about yourself. It gives them what they need, but it also puts you in touch with a bunch of other people that can, again, at some point, perhaps help you too. So I always say every day to the folks that I work with, how can I be more helpful? What can I do for you? What do you need? How can I give back? And I think that's, again, kind of bringing it full circle back to why I felt so great about starting here at John Carroll, was that, somebody was offering to give me an umbrella, to hold the door, like just to be helpful to me. And so that's what I live by, is how can I be more helpful?
Wow, that is a great way to end off today's podcast. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining me here today and being a part of this podcast journey. So I really appreciate you hopping on and being here. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we close this episode?
If anyone's interested in being more helpful with the Blue Gold Club, you can go to jcusports.com and you can find out more about the Blue Gold Club. You can become part of our 1886 Society and join to become a member. There's lots of information there. Would love more volunteers as well. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Instagram, or you can find me through you, Marcelo. Yeah. So just a little plug there for the Blue Gold Club. Would love any support that folks would like to offer to help John Carroll athletes.
Great. So yeah, make sure you check all that out. Rebecca, thank you so much, and looking forward to dropping this episode.
This was so much fun. I really appreciate you asking me to be on the podcast. I'm honored. Had a lot of fun, enjoyed the time, and I wish you the best. Thank you, Marcelo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with friends and family, and use code Lions Cove at checkout. Thank you very much for all the love and support, and we'll see you in the next one. See you guys.